In this video, I'm going to explain why you may stall, how you can prevent it, and what you should do when you do stall. Believe it or not, you can actually narrow down stalling to just two main causes: lack of skill and lack of confidence. In this video, I'm going to cover both. This exercise should help your skill immensely. Take your car somewhere flat enough that you can take the handbrake off, come off the foot brake without it rolling, and as quiet as possible so you don't get so many interruptions when you're trying to do this. Then you push the clutch down, select first gear, set the gas to between 1 and 2,000 RPM, and if nobody's coming from behind, lift the clutch up to the bite point. You know you're at the bite point because the car starts moving. The bite point is also known as the friction point or half clutch, in case you use different terminology, and hold it there for 4 seconds, count to 4, then clutch down and brake. So here we go. I've already got the gas set between 1 and 2,000 RPM, no one coming. Lift the clutch to the bite point where it starts moving. There it is, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, and then clutch down and brake to stop. And keep repeating it. So set the gas again. When nobody's coming, lift the clutch and hold it there for 4 seconds. So wait for these oncoming cars to go so I don't confuse them. They're gone now, so no one coming. Lift the clutch to the bite point. There it is, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, and 4 second. Then clutch down and use the brake to stop. Keep repeating this until you've mastered it. When using the clutch, it's important to keep your heel, which is this thing here, off the ground as you move the clutch up and down. You can put your heel on the ground when you're trying to steady the pedal to keep it still, but you want your heel up as you move the clutch up and down so you don't lose your footing. I know many people say you should keep your heel down all the time, and I've actually made a video all about using the pedals, which is in the top right hand corner of your screen. There's a link to it, and I give a good example in that video of why you can lose control of the car if you keep your heel down all the time. Practicing this exercise will improve your gas skill as well as your clutch skill, helping you move a manual car easily without stalling. It is important to pause on the clutch bite point. Many people struggle driving manual cars because they've been told they cannot pause on the clutch bite point and they've got to use the clutch like a switch. But that's not what the clutch is designed to do. It's designed to slip a little bit to enable you to move away smoothly. When you pause on the clutch bite point, the clutch is going to very quickly catch up with the engine, so there won't be slippage for long anyway, but it will do it smoothly instead of like this when you come off the clutch too early. What will burn your clutch and cause excessive heat and wear is using too many revs, say over 2,000 RPM, or if you use the slippage of the clutch to keep you steady on a hill. When I was training to be a driving instructor, I was told that I should teach people to do handbrake starts every time they move away, but you don't have to do that, and I've found that to hurt people when it comes to learning clutch control. A handbrake start is really for hills. A handbrake start is when you leave the handbrake on, clutch down first gear, add some gas, lift the clutch to the bite point, and then when no one's coming, you'll take the handbrake off to move. But the problem with that method is it stops you from learning how the clutch makes the car move because you're not moving. If your handbrake is off, when you add some gas and lift the clutch, you're going to see how it affects the car. But also taking the handbrake off is going to teach you how the hill is going to affect the car. Then you will know when you really do need to do a hill start using the handbrake. You may be stalling because you've been taught to lift the clutch up before you add gas. And this works better in some cars than others, but where it really doesn't work well is when you're trying to accelerate quickly. For example, if you're trying to pull out of a busy junction. In this car, if I lift the clutch up as high as I need to move away quickly without adding gas, that happens. When you feel you have fully mastered this exercise, all you need to do to continue is come fully off the clutch. Hold the clutch at the bite point for around 4 seconds and then fully off the clutch to continue. It's important not to use the clutch as a footrest and leave your foot on it indefinitely because that will eventually wear out the release bearing. Here's an example. So clutch down first gear. I'll take the handbrake off as I'm not on a hill. Bit of gas. No one's coming, lift the clutch to the bite point. I'm moving now, so 1 second, 2 second. I think the clutch is already done. That's about 4 seconds now, fully off the clutch. 4 seconds is plenty enough time for the clutch to do its job. And if you do it that way, you will never stall. Well, that's the skill part covered. Now let's take a look at a driver who lacks confidence.
I know this junction is uphill. Oh, look at that big thing. Get out of the way. Well, why do you have to try and come in here at the same time as I'm going out? That person in the blue coat, I know he's looking at me. Oh, nearly stalled. I can do this. Another hill start. But that's my friend's house. I bet they're looking at me. Okay, I can do this. Clutch down, first gear, get the handbrake ready, set some gas, find the bite point. Oh, I do hope I don't roll back. Right, let's see if anyone's coming. No, handbrake off. Right, now, please don't stall, please don't stall, please don't stall. Oh, look at all those people, they're going to be looking at me. Such a hard road to pull out of. Can't see around that bend and everyone's going so fast. What if Cruella de Vil comes flying around that bend when I'm halfway out? So many cars. Will I ever get a chance to go? Is that a gap? Ah, I should have taken that gap. The car behind thinks I should have taken that gap.
I think what we just saw there is a very common cause of stalling. Anxiety distracts you from what you are doing, meaning you're less likely to do the pedals well and more likely to forget your gear change. And incidentally, forgetting to change gear is another common cause of stalling. So what can you do about this? Well, you certainly can't change the feelings that make you think like this. The feelings aren't going to go away like that, and there's nothing I can say to change those. But you can change what you think about. Instead of letting your feelings get the better of you and control what you're thinking about, you have to control what you're thinking about. You've got to accept you're going to get things wrong. You've got to accept that people will shout at you if you stall, but it doesn't matter because you're probably never going to see them again. It's not like you live with them or you're going for dinner with them. And you've got to focus on what you're currently doing. And eventually you will get a positive feedback loop, because if you can focus on what you're doing and not let all those things in the back of your mind distract you, and you can avoid rushing. If something goes wrong, don't rush. No matter how bad it gets, take your time. If you can do those two things, the more chance there is of it going well, which means your anxiety is likely to decrease. And with decreased anxiety, it's even easier for you to focus on what you're trying to do and not rush, which means there's even more chance of it going well more often, which means your anxiety comes down and the feedback loop continues. But what should you do if you stall? Well, firstly, don't panic. Definitely do not rush, because that will only make things worse. I'm going to put it into third gear and deliberately stall this car, so you can see how I correct it. So when these two cars have gone, I will stall. They're both gone now, and I've stalled. So what do? Quickly clutch down, restart the car with a key. This car started itself from pressing the clutch down. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Some cars require you to turn the key off before you turn it on, or you may just have a push button start. So clutch down, start the engine, however you need to start the engine, check your gear, check it's safe, and then continue. You don't need to stop the car because you've stalled. You don't need to use the handbrake because you've stalled. However, there are occasions where that would be a good idea. For example, if you stall on a hill and you're about to roll back, stopping the car and using the handbrake is sensible. Or if you stall as you cross a give way line, or as you're about to cross a give way line, you don't want to be stuck in the middle of a junction. So best try and stop the car before the give way line, restart it and continue when it's safe. If you stall, it's very important to get the car started quickly, which is why you don't want to stop and use the handbrake unless you need to. Just push the clutch down, start your engine however you need to start your engine in your car, check your gear, check it's safe, and then continue. However, although I said quickly, that doesn't mean rush. Quickly is making it a priority, staying calm and getting it done. Whereas rushing is more like a chicken and flapping like... That's enough, chicken man. If you practice all the skills in this video, don't let all those anxieties in the back of your head get the better of you. Focus on what you're doing, ignore everyone around you, and stay calm. That should cure all of your stalling issues. If you think the video is good, please give it a thumbs up and check out Collingwood and Confused in the description. Collingwood are great if you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, because you can do so without affecting their policy, without risking their no claims bonus, which means they're going to be much happier taking you for a ride. They're going to feel less stressed. There's up to 35% off via the link and a £20 Amazon gift card, and using the link does support this channel. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out confused.com, because with Confused you can fill out one online quote form and get loads of insurance quotes from different insurers to see who's cheapest. And also what's great about it is you can fill out one quote form but change the car many times, as many times as you like, to see which car is cheaper to insure if you're looking at which car you should buy. Using the link again supports this channel, so thank you very much. I also have Instagram and Facebook now. I'm going to be posting on there if you want to check that out. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio. Forgot to post that letter. Oh, well, that's the other reason you can stall. That's not a skill issue. That's not a confidence issue. That's just a distraction, and that can happen to anyone. Don't worry about it. That will never go away.